Shambho, Shambho, Mahadevaya. Yoga, Yoga, Yogeshwaraya. Bhuta, Bhuta, Bhuteshwaraya. Kala, Kala, Kaleshwaraya. Shiva, Shiva, Sarveshwaraya. Shambho, Shambho, Mahadevaya. Yoga, Yoga, Yogeshwaraya. Bhuta, Bhuta, Bhuteshwaraya. Kala, Kala, Kaleshwaraya. Shiva, Shiva, Sarveshwaraya. Shambho, Shambho, Mahadevaya. Yoga, Yoga, Yogeshwaraya. Bhuta, Bhuta, Bhuteshwaraya. Kala, Kala, Kaleshwaraya. Shiva, Shiva, Sarveshwaraya. Shambho, Shambho, Mahadevaya. Yoga, Yoga, Yogeshwaraya. Bhuta, Bhuta, Bhuteshwaraya. Kala, Kala, Eshwaraya. Shiva, Shiva, Sarveshwaraya. Yoga, Yoga, Yogeshwaraya. Bhuta, Bhuta, Bhuteshwaraya. Kala, Kala, Kaleshwaraya. Shiva, Shiva, Sarveshwaraya. Shambho, Shambho, Mahadevaya. Kalo न जानति तव जननम् कालो न जानति तव समापनम् दृष्टो मया तव महाकारः योगेश्वर काल काल योगेश्वर काल काल Who's this other guy singing out there? A little poem for you. It's called Revolution. Revolution. Evolution seems like an infinitely lazy process for a mind that is in haste. Evolution seems like an infinitely lazy process for a mind that is in haste. All that is grand and beautiful, a consequence of evolution. All that is grand and beautiful, a consequence of evolution, including the super hasty us, including the super hasty us. Humans in haste have turned everything into mountains of waste. Humans in haste are turning everything into mountains of waste. Time to stop the mindless haste and look at the magic of evolution, where there is nothing that goes waste. Time to stop the mindless haste and look at the magic of evolution, where there is nothing that goes waste. Revolution is a quick turnaround that inevitably gets you back to the very place that you started. Revolution is a quick turnaround that inevitably gets you back to the very place that you started. But no, if there is keenness of attention, if there is keenness of attention, evolution, the greatest revolution. If there is keenness of attention, evolution, the greatest revolution. Well, next 3 days are curfew in all the 5 cities, major cities in Tamil Nadu, and a few other Indian states have chosen to continue the lockdown, though the union government has given them an option to do whatever they wish or whatever they feel is necessary. I think at least 7 to 8 states are going or continuing the lockdown because they've achieved success with lockdown, they've controlled the infection, now they don't want to lose out on that. Well, Mumbai is running away both with infections and fatalities, considering the concentration of population and the way people are living in that city. I think much more is yet to come. United States has crossed 52,000 deaths. All kinds of crazy things are being said and done in that country, unfortunately. I hope they get a handle on what needs to be done, because it is a runaway fatalities. Well, in Europe, nations like France, UK, Spain and Italy under control. I think largely this virus is kind of wiping out the geriatric population, which is of concern. This may happen everywhere unless we really take care of this. Well, at the same time, generally most nations are slowly getting on top of it, at least controlling. Controlling not the virus, controlling human behavior so that virus doesn't find transportation. So, that's where we are. They are saying some university along with an Indian company, they have come up with a vaccine which should be ready in 3 weeks, we don't know. But even if it's ready in 3 weeks, when will you administer this to over 7 billion people? So, vaccine may come, other kinds of… right now they're doing some plasma treatment, people claim it's giving good result. But still, responsible behavior is the only way forward. And even if relaxation happens, we need to continue with this, that's where we are. Well, about evolution and revolution, those who are in a haste want things to happen quickly like that. To revolve means to go around. Going around means you come back to the same point. To evolve means to move forward continuously. That is the methodology nature has successfully employed. That is a way we should also move forward. We are in a little bit of a haste, so everything, whether it's our economy or social processes or even spiritual processes are ending up in a bad way for a whole lot of people simply because of haste. If you have the capacity to manage speed, that's different. Haste will not necessarily bring speed, because to manage speed, you need competence, you need almost I don't know if I have to say this because it's okay. So I always, like people were asking me somewhere, Sadhguru, do you get adrenaline riding fast or driving fast? Not at all. As I get faster and faster, which I only do when I'm alone, when I get really fast, I become like absolutely still almost. Because if you're not balanced, speed is a dangerous thing. That will come because of haste. You're trying to go somewhere. Now, because you want to get somewhere in a certain amount of time, if you speed, there is always a possibility of doing something. You speed because that's how you are. Because you can deal with it. You're not trying to race with somebody, you're not trying to race with time, you're not trying to get somewhere, but simply according to your competence, you're handling something. That's different. That needs to happen in every aspect of life, but that will not happen with haste. It will only happen with balance. When absolute balance is there, then we can do things to the fullest limit that we can do. Not like somebody else. Somebody may be able to do magic. We will do mundane things only, but we'll do it well to the best possible way we can do it. So, this haste that has come into human beings, these days wherever I go in the universities, initially I did not know the terminology, now of course I know. They have this FOMO problem, fear of missing out, that somebody else may be having fun. I'm sitting here just reading a book, But somebody else may be having a party, somebody else may be doing this, somebody else may be doing that. What kind of Once you get into this madness, there's no relief. There's no relief from this. This is enslavement, worst kind of enslavement, because you want to do everything that everybody does. This is also an evolutionary issue, that is falling back, not forward. This is an evolutionary thing that the monkeys do. If one does one thing, all of them do the same thing. Well, this is also lack of evolution problem. So it's important. When we talk about spiritual process, the most important thing is learning to be still. That action is no more a compulsive thing. Action is a purposeful thing. When I want to act, I act absolutely. Otherwise, I can simply sit here. You know, this happened, this is way back when the home school started. One day I went there to see the children. They had this morning assembly. Then all these, 6, 7, 8-year-olds, 6 to 8-year-old kids, they're sitting there like this. I just look at them and say, why these children are like broken tops, You know what's a top? It's gone, is it, completely? These kids still play top? Hello? It's gone. Anyway, a top has to be well balanced to make it stand like that. You don't know whether it's spinning or not, like that it stands. If it's a little broken top, it'll go like this. So these kids are like this, like this. I said, what's happening to these kids? No, the children, Sadhguru, they're like that only. Whose children are they? They're like this. So we started something extremely simple. There are 7 notes of the music, sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa. 12 minutes a day in the morning. After 2 months I go, they're all sitting like this. That's all it takes. The problem right now is, our education process is in a haste. People come and ask me, Sadhguru, in United States, one lady is coming and asking me, she's about 4 or 5 months pregnant. She wants to do it's called something, I don't know what, before she delivers, she wants to teach the child something. Really, they are doing these programs where you try to impart mathematics and other aspects into the child by doing certain things. I don't know what all they're doing. Then I told her, see, in India, there are 2 good examples of somebody learning something in the mother's womb, and both of them have been great disasters. One is Ashtavakra. Being inside his mother's womb, he heard what his father is saying, all the scholarship he got, and then he disagreed with his father from there. So the father cursed him, whatever happened, or that learning itself distorted him. He became an absolutely distorted human being. Fortunately, he blossomed into something else because his body was distorted. Another is Abhimanyu, Arjuna's son. He also, being in his mother's womb, listening to some secrets that are being spoken, he heard only half of it. After that, maybe she drank water or something. He didn't hear the other half. Just imagine you're inside, you're listening, gudu gudu gudu. So he did not hear the other half. So he went into the battlefield, he knew how to get in to a certain formation, but he did not know how to get out and got killed in a terrible way. So I said, see, there are 2 examples in our country, those guys who learned from inside the womb, what a disaster they became. Is that what you want? He became like this because somebody has been giving her brochures and saying we can teach him, make him a mathematical genius, by teaching mathematics when he is inside the womb. And others have some rapid learning nonsense. By the time they're 2, 3 years of age, they're teaching them language, mathematics, this, that. This is the worst thing you can do because you're in haste. When you're in that kind of haste, you will waste everything, including your life. Most lives are going waste like this because haste about everything. The school itself is haste. Always this much learning, that much learning. No, there is no profoundness of involvement, simply piling up things. So from that same basis, it's modern education which has caused the ecological disaster, if you ask me. Because the illiterate people in the village, what is their footprint on the planet? They live, if their nourishment is good, they live well and they die one day without living much. It is only the educated people, once they go to school and further if they go to the university, they become serious damage to the planet. Of course, they study ecological sciences and come. So, this haste if you remove from within you, that you want to be ahead of somebody, closing your eyes and simply sitting here becomes effortless. Somebody's going, what's my problem if he goes? What is the problem? If he goes, he will go. And well, so many people, countless number of people have gone ahead of you and died, generations of people. You want to go ahead of them also? Why don't you race with them, I'm asking? Quickly. Really? Why are you only racing with the living? Dead have gone ahead of you, you must overtake them quickly. Hello? Yes, that's exactly what we will do. That's exactly what we will do with this sense of haste. So, one major aspect of spiritual process is this: you're not in competition with anybody. Now you can close your eyes and sit, there is no issue. Otherwise you can't sit. You can't sit for a moment. When you're worried what somebody else is doing, you cannot sit here, you cannot sit anywhere. You will never know what it means to be at ease. If you do not know what it means to be at ease, knowing what it means to be blissful, out of question. What it means to be free, completely out of question. First and foremost thing is to come to ease. This doesn't mean you will not do anything in your life. You will do whatever you can. Everything that you can do, you will do. But you don't have to outperform somebody. There is simply no need because you cannot even outperform an ant. Can you do what he does? You cannot do what he does. So there is no need to compete. This competition nonsense from the kindergarten or even before they join the school, they start telling them, I am going to put you in the best school, you must be number one, you must be the best student. So everybody else must be less than you, that's the only wish. With this kind of sickness, forget about spiritual process, even life, simple aspects of life, to eat well, to sleep well, to do things in your life, that also will not happen. This has happened to modern societies, most of them cannot sleep. Either they must pop a pill or have a drink, otherwise they cannot sleep. A whole lot of people have gotten themselves into this position simply because haste. Haste is a consequence of always wanting to be better than somebody. This one thing, if it goes away, sitting here, simply, very natural. This does not mean the dynamism of your life will be taken away in any sense, never. In fact, rest is the basis of all activity. Stillness is the basis of all dynamism. This is the way creation is made. Out of Shiva, everything happened, means everything was nothing and still out of that evolved a roar or a series of bangs or whatever, and the whole creation happened. That is the basis of our existence too, even now. Fundamental things people don't handle, but they go on doing all kinds of things in their life. The most fundamental thing is, you need to understand this much: you can never be better than somebody or worse than somebody. It's all in your mind. You're just making it up. The desperation to be better than somebody is only because you did not find anything of worth within yourself, anything of value within yourself. Otherwise, why would you want to be better than somebody? Simply because nothing of value has been found here, that is the only problem. If one does not invest in this direction, if human beings do not invest in this direction, well, we will drive ourselves to a disaster, which we are doing in so many ways. As we get more empowered with technology and scientific knowledge, you must understand scientific knowledge in today, in most people's perception is that we learn more and more tricks how to exploit every damn thing in the universe. Now we have our eyes on the Mars. We want to destroy one more planet. How can we destroy just one planet, be satisfied with that? We want to destroy at least two. But if we destroy two, we will want to do four. And then it'll multiply in permutations, like with the virus. Initially, they've been trying to find that person, what is he called, some zero something, the first person who got infected. Well, they haven't found him. But from there, every day, how it can multiply, they've made some mathematical projections which is crazy. So this is just like that. Destruction, not because of anything. Destruction simply because not understanding the fundamental nature of our own existence. Because of this, we cause damage to everything. We think we are causing damage to the planet. No, the only thing we are doing is doing enormous damage to our own lives, nothing else. So the virus, the lockdown, from tomorrow morning, I think from midnight today is curfew, okay? You could be shot if you go on the street. There are some very nice images of some young guy in Indore want to show off his sports car, and a convertible car, he comes out because he wants to, it roars a little bit, makes noise, gets attention. Now the police constable stops him and makes him hold his ears and do sit-ups and sit-ups. He's not leaving him. He says, no, I will go, it's okay, I'm sorry. Nothing doing, just do it. It is on the national television, that fellow. In his life, he cannot get into a convertible car again. Please, the questions.
This question is from Arvind Panigre from Mumbai. Namaskaram Sadhguru. Regarding the solutions you spoke at the Entrepreneur Organization webinar yesterday, minimum 4 years usage of phone, cars, etc., I would like to know, isn't it necessary to extend the model and see what that implies in terms of employment cuts in these sectors, and what solutions there may be in terms of alternative livelihood options?
Whoa. Well, yesterday we were in a conference with entrepreneurs. It is an international organization. Well, they asked me, Sadhguru, what is the way forward? Anyway, the virus has stopped all businesses for now. How… we are conscious that we should do something to slow down what we are doing, but how? We are ecologically conscious, but what to do? I said, you could start with simple things. If you do not know this, in a country like India, it should be much worse in United States. I don't have the statistics for United States. In a country like India, 40% of the people who buy phones, smartphones, use it only for 1 year. Right now in this country, there are over 50 crore, that means, what? 500 million, is it?
500 million.
500 million phones which are not being used, they're somewhere in their homes. Because they got the new model, the old model, they don't want to share it with anybody because if there is some information, whatever, they don't want to sell it, they don't want to give it to anyone because whatever their pictures, their this, that may be there, they may not be able to fully remove, there may be some issues. 500 million phones in India are not in use, they're somewhere. Can you believe it? So I said, why don't we make a law? If you buy a phone, 4 years you must use. If it breaks down, you must surrender the broken down phone. Or there must be a way to sell the old phone so that somebody else will use a cheaper phone, it's fine. All cars, if you buy a car, minimum 8 years you must use. If this is too much, we can set it 8 years or 100,000 kilometers. Something I'm saying. Because all manufacturing is going on expanding to where? To what point? Somewhere there has to be some kind of restriction. Now at least we have learnt to live with restriction, better to bring laws. But this has to be done for the whole world. If in India you have to use your phone for 4 years and in Pakistan you can buy one whenever you want, people will go over there only. They're like that. Across the world, it needs to happen that phones cannot be sold to somebody who just bought a phone, he can't buy another phone within a year or two. He has to wait because his name, number of the phone, everything must be registered properly. Thus, if 4 years is too much, all right, make it to 3 years, 2 years, whatever. Fix some reasonable time where most phones will not break down in that period. Fix some reasonable time for all the automobiles, like that. And then similar things can be done with military equipment and stuff like this. If you don't do something like this now, where are you going to expand yourself to? To death? That's all we will expand ourselves to. We need to put such curbs on manufacture of steel, aluminum, main material. If you bring restrictions, it's done. That today what is the level of manufacturing you're doing, you cannot enhance it for the next 25 years. You must fix this. If this is the amount of steel you're producing in this country, you must stop right there. Well, underdeveloped countries, developing countries, if you want to give them a little leeway, you can give so that they can catch up. But once we reach a certain point, but this much population, this much you're producing, you must stop there. Otherwise, people will go on using things more and more wantonly. There is no more here. There is no more on this planet, only that much. Whatever there is, only that much. Well, when we can think in terms of campaigning, there was a time everybody was having 6, 8 children. Today everybody's come to 2, 1, many of them choosing not to have. I'm even threatening that I will institute an award for all the women who will not have children in their life. When we can do this with children, why can't we do that with a damn phone and a car and everything else? Why not? We've already done that with human beings to some extent, not very effectively, but we have done reasonably. Why can't we do the same with everything? If we don't do it, well, we will run for another 25, 30 years and hit a place which will be worse than this virus. Really. Climate change issues, when it goes out of control, what we hit, the pit that we hit, will be much worse than virus. If you're thinking virus is causing havoc to your life, when climate change issues burst forth, you will see what kind of situations we will hit is very different. Definitely, reduction of human population also need to happen. Everybody will think employment, jobs, jobs, jobs. Well, more people can sing, dance, make flowers. There are many things you can do. Everybody need not be in an industry manufacturing something. This is happening because we've gotten ourselves into that mode and we started believing this is the way to live. 100 years ago, nobody was living like this on this planet. Just 100 years ago. Well, 100 years ago they had started in some parts of the world. Let's say 200 years ago, nobody was living like this anywhere. Everybody was working to their best capability with whatever they were doing, and people were living happily and well. Only advancement which we welcome is many medical advancements which is allowing people to live a full life, more technology, finer technology, more refinement to all the technology that we're already having. Without a certain level of refinement, nothing can be released. Just because any idiot can do anything, it's all released into the market. This has to stop. Whether this is needed for this world, whether we can afford this or not, must be decided, isn't it? Well, some laws are there to control it, but not enough. Well, virus time is at least a good time to think about it. Then of course people will say, Sadhguru, you are rubbing insult on injury, already we are pained, we don't know how to manage our industry, we don't know how to give employment, now you're rubbing it down that we must reduce production and do this. Well, not me. Nature is rubbing it down on you. It's better you take the message, that's all I'm saying. This happened. One day, a man unloaded a very big grandfather clock from the truck, and with great difficulty he was carrying it on his back and going towards his building. A drunk came by, looked at this and said, "Hey mister, it's time you get yourself a wristwatch." It's time we get a wristwatch. We're carrying such big things for simple processes. It's time we reduce it. I'm saying, just look at it. If you have not seen it by yourself, many of you are too young for that, but look at let's say you see a Hollywood movie from 70s or 60s. You see those damn cars, out of that one car you can make 5 cars, that much metal was there in one car. Hello? They're built like ships. Now we are making probably 2-3 cars out of the same amount of metal. That's improvement, isn't it? But why do we take 50-60 years to do that? We have enough brains, enough design, enough capability to sit down now and make it happen in the next 3 years. Everything that can be refined and made minimal can be made now. That itself will give you phenomenal employment. That means everybody has to apply to become little more ingenious with their lives. That's good for your brain also. That's good for the world also. That's good for the planet. It's very good. One of I'm telling you, one of the greatest satisfactions that a human being can have is when you come up with something intelligent. Maybe a simple thing, how to fix a photograph on the wall. Everybody was struggling, you came up with a simple new idea. Wow, you'll live with that for a long time. Yes, because when you see, right now, some people were complaining, why are footballers paid more than the scientific research people? If we had invested what we invest in a Ronaldo or a Messi in science, we wouldn't have this virus. That's not the truth, only because too much investment in science. Why people are paying them the way they're paying and why people are watching them the way they're watching is, Because their body is doing something that you cannot imagine possible for your own body. You are looking with your eyeballs popping out of your sockets when a Ronaldinho played, because he is doing something that you cannot even dream of. Whether you use your physical body like that or you use your mind like that, any one of these things you do, there is an immense sense of satisfaction and fulfillment in your life. I'm saying, I'm not talking about spiritual process, that's another dimension. For somebody who lives a simple life, why this golf game is such a big deal? Because in every other game, you're playing with somebody. If you don't do well, you can always say something about the other guy. Here it's a dumb sitting ball. I'm not supposed to tell you this, but I'll tell you after a few days. I've done something for this right now. It's a sitting ball, but a goddamn sitting ball doesn't take instructions from you, it goes like this, it goes like that. So when somebody, Tiger Woods or somebody else plays, everybody have their eyeballs popping because he's getting the ball where he wants, that's all. What else is he doing? Ball is just going where he wants it to go, that's about it. So just when the body functions the way you want, there is a deep sense of fulfillment. When your mind functions the way you want, there's a very deep sense of fulfillment. So, only when you make everything automatic, go there, do for 8 hours, go home, weekend get drunk, end of the month get the salary, what kind of life is that? You know, when I was a youth, my father is always worried. We just lost him a few months ago. He was always worried, this boy is not qualifying himself for anything, what will he do, what will he do, how will he earn his living? It never occurred to me how to earn my living. I thought it was obscene. How to earn my living, such a thought never occurred to me. I went to school, college, for whatever, my interest there, but never how to earn a living. So, when I took up that kind of education, which will definitely not get me a job anywhere, so there was great concern. So one day he was really very worried and some relatives were there and he said, what to do with this boy, he's not qualifying for anything. And I said, see, don't worry about me earning a living. Tell me when I should leave this house. The moment you say, within 2 minutes I'll be gone. And don't worry about me, I will live somewhere. If nothing else, I'll go into the jungle and I'll survive. Because I trekked across Western Ghats, I know where to live, where to survive. Without even seeing a human face, I will survive. There's no issue about that. And above all, because I'm not qualified for anything, this means I can do whatever I feel like doing. Now that may look like arrogance, but it's not about arrogance, it's not about some special capability, it is just that a human being means just this, that, you know, with our insight and related programs, we've changed the thing, and even in the ashram, we are not using the terminology anymore. We do not use the terminology of human resource. A resource means it's a fixed quantity. A human being is not a fixed quantity. If he or she is a fixed quantity, what the hell do I do with them? If it's already fixed by their genetics or their culture or their bloody god, that this is all they will be, then what do I do with them? Because I see human beings as a potential, that is why I'm investing my life in them. Otherwise, why? What's the point if they're not a potential? So we have changed this from human resource to human potential. It's very easy. From R, you just had to wipe out one line. It's HP now. In the ashram, the department is not called HR anymore, it's called HP, human potential. Because a human is a potential. How far will you explore this? This is the question. So, somewhere from this human potential, we looked at things only in terms of doing more. It's not about doing more, it is about doing more in terms of profoundness, not just in terms of quantity. We went into mass production of things in the world, all the beautiful things went away. This country still has retained some handicrafts, doing things, you know. Each piece of cloth, each one of them, every meter of what a handloom worker makes is unique and different. But now it comes out of a machine, tack, 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 tack. And the guy who's standing there is just putting little oil or putting little dye and simply standing there. He has no involvement, no nothing. We made the world like this because somebody wants more money, more money, more money, that's all. Everybody is talking about billions and billions. I'm telling you, even if I give you another 100 years of your life, let's say you are 50, 60 years of age, we'll give you another 100 years. What will you do with $100 billion? What do you do, I'm asking? It's just rubbish. But they'll say, I will do philanthropy. But why? Why grab it and then put it back? I am not speaking against those who are doing it, I'm glad at least they're doing it, others are burying it in their grave and going. I'm saying you've seen those kings and those Egyptian pharaohs and other people, they buried immense amount of gold and stuff in their graves thinking they will need it elsewhere. At least these guys are trying to give back, this has become a big thing. I said, why take more than what you need, then give back? This culture if we change, we can change everything. What do we do with 7.6 billion people? There is a lot of beautiful things to do. It is not necessary, we just have to go on putting more automobiles, at least let us decide how many people should exist on this planet, how many automobiles should exist, how many damn phones should exist, how many every other machine should exist. At least let us all sit down and put a cap, this many only can exist. Otherwise, right now it's happening in all the Indian cities. We have more cars than roads. Yes, there are more… if all the cars come out on the road, we don't have enough road, but we've got cars. And we are looking at the economy, car sales are improving, so we're doing great, we're doing great. At least ride a motorcycle like me, at least half the space you take. I'm saying something we have to do. In some way, we must see how we occupy less space, each individual human being. Right now, distancing, you occupy more space, that's okay. Social distancing, that's all right. But if we do not see how to consume less, if we go on thinking, because people are talking about this, some of them who are politically elected leaders, when I spoke to them, they are saying, no, we must increase the population because we'll have young workforce, our economy will grow. What will you do with the damn economy? Let's say in this country, instead of 1 billion people, it became 2 billion people in whatever number of years. After that, can you live here? You can do whatever arrangements you want. You can build a 500-floor apartment. But is that the way to live? Why can't we handle things consciously? Whether it is human population, phone population, car population, computer population, how many should exist? What is a reasonable number? We must fix it. This virus, it looks like, is bringing some sense to us. We must make use of this time to at least start thinking. I know it's not going to happen overnight, but at least we should start thinking in this direction. Where are we trying to go? Where are we trying to go? Virus is telling you, anytime I can get you, all right? Where are we trying to go? Yes, we need to do things as human beings, we want to do many things, it's fine. But when we know we are here driving towards our destruction, is it not time to stop and look? Anyway, it stopped us in our tracks. Slowly, I think all the restless people are slowly beginning to enjoy the quiet of their life. It is looking like that from the reactions that I'm seeing around. Initially, they were all like this, now it looks like they're a little bit settling down. So, yearly once, I think voluntary lockdowns must happen across the world, you know. No virus need to come and force us, simply entire world, 3 weeks lockdown. Don't have to necessarily be in your own home, you can move around. No machines, no smoke, either from the engine or from this, no smoke. And just like that, everybody focus on improving your lives and whatever level is important for you, physically, mentally, energetically, spiritually, whichever way you want. 3 weeks for everybody to improve their lives. What a big difference it'll make, you know. Right now, the way this is going, the amount of buildings that we have built, infrastructure we have built, let's say educational institutions. I never understood why, that's why I rarely went there, even when I was in it. Because I couldn't understand why everybody come and sit in a room and listen to one man reading a book. I could never fathom this activity, so I always sat outside in the garden. So everybody coming, how many millions and millions and millions of square feet of buildings have we built to educate people? Well, at one time we thought it was necessary because we were in the mode of mass production industry, mass production education, mass production everything. Now knowledge or information is available just everywhere. All you need is somebody to inspire human beings to strive towards something that matters to them in their lives. That's all that's needed. Information is all over the place. Oh, but if I don't get my degree, you can add a zero to your head, that's a degree, you know. If you know what to do, if you're well informed and this information you assimilated well within yourself and you can come out with something, that's good enough. Why should you be given a certificate for everything? Well, for certain things, it is necessary. For certain level of function in certain areas of life, it's necessary. But it is time to think about this, that children can go to school till they are 15 years of age. After that, whether they need to go to school or not is something that we need to seriously consider, because this school and the methodology of education is a serious flaw in human society. It is because of that flaw, all these other things happen. Everything trying to be better than somebody is coming mainly being manufactured in the school. Essentially, it is manufactured in the school and then in a much larger proportion it happens elsewhere, finds expression in the world. It is important that, you know, a few of the parents in United States are doing it, but very small number, they are homeschooling their children. Well, if you think you want to have 2-3 children, you must also have the dedication to bring, you know, dedicate your time for them. No, you produce children, throw them in the school, once a year or twice a year you see them. Well, right now that's the arrangement. That's the way it's functioning. But it is time to move away from that, because there was a time when there used to be only one book. Those who were enterprising enough at that time, with one book, they started their religions and it's going well. Now you can't start a new religion, just know that. It doesn't work anymore. You just had one book, that's enough. Because only you can read it, nobody else can read it. Only you knew how to read it. Whatever you read, everybody thought it's fantastic. Looking at a flat piece of paper, you were saying so many things, people were so excited. Those times are over, it's okay. We'll pardon you for what you did at that time. Not anymore. Now there's enough information everywhere for everybody to access. Now what is needed is an inspired human being. An inspired human being means his body, his mind, his emotion, his energy, everything is full on. This human being, if he is also balanced within himself, he will do wonderful things, naturally. This factory-like education, this factory-like production, everything, this needs to… it will not go away, it will take centuries to go away, but we must start slowing it down, we must start… at least those who are little discerning should start moving away from this. Otherwise, this industrial revolution, we are going to come back. Revolution means boom, same point, same place. We need evolution. Let's make it happen. Yoga Yoga Yogeshwaraya Bhuta Bhuta Bhuteshwaraya Kala Kala Kaleshwaraya Shiva Shiva Sarveshwaraya Shambho Shambho Maha